Okay, everybody, and I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's presentation. So tonight is going to be a little bit of a presentation slash, I'm here to help you get your bots running. We're going to talk about the excitement of the new enhancement that was just launched. Hopefully you're as excited as I am. My hopes is by the end of this presentation, if you're not, you will be, to see. We're going to do a little bit of a breakdown here tonight on the power of this bot and really how powerful this new enhancement is. I think it's better than people even realize. So, but what I want to do here is let me move to the next slide. There we go. So in tonight's agenda, we're going to talk about the new enhancement. Like I'd already mentioned, now we have the ability to handle 90% market drop or more, which is incredible. And I'll break that down for you in a little bit. We're going to talk about mindset and timing, understanding where we're at, and really how incredible we got this enhancement when we did. We're going to cover some articles and different thoughts about that. We're going to go over the power of Eazybot. How does it stack up, right, in comparison to hedge funds, things like that. We're going to run some potential earnings numbers here to kind of see what this can become over time. And then we're going to go over the training. We're going to play a little video for you guys to watch on the market crash recovery. And then we're going to dive into that. And then after that, it's going to be an open discussion, and I'm going to help you if we can get anybody's bots. If they need to activate the market crash recovery, we'll get that going. Or if they're in particular stages, there is some adjustments that could potentially need to be made, and I'll show you that on my account. Then I'll help you guys as well. So, but first I want to cover this disclaimer. There's risk of loss within the investment. Do not invest money you cannot afford to lose. We're not financial advisors. Any numbers shown tonight are for illustrative purposes only and should not be considered a guarantee. Continued attendance at this webinar signifies your acceptance of this disclaimer. So let's start here, guys. So let me pull this up and let's come over here to this. Okay, so the exciting news, and if you were not able to get on the last corporate webinar that was yesterday, Monday, where they announced this, officially announced it, or if you're brand new, if you've been somebody who is sitting on the sidelines of Eazybot, kind of looking at it, or if you're a brand new person just being introduced to Eazybot for the first time, what's incredible is they've just brought in the ability to sustain a 90+ drop in the markets. So what does that mean, right? So I'm going to read this to you real quick here. The crypto markets are volatile. Even when there are drops of 90% or more, Eazybot is intelligently designed to continue to trade and make profit for you. No need to wait for the market to correct. With Eazybot's market crash recovery, you can close trades and profit continually during the most severe drops, right? So this says it really well. And this graph here to the left shows, now understand this, guys. So what this graph is showing is if somebody had purchased the same coins that Eazybot has available to trade, purchased the same day with the same amount of money, and just held those coins, 127 days in, they would be at a 34.25% loss on their overall account. That's how far the market has dropped down. But with Eazybot and trading in and out through this whole market, one of the terrible market conditions, and we're gonna cover that a little bit. Eazybot is up 17.21% on this account that they use to monitor. It's an account that they have $1,000 per coin that they put into, and they use this as a way to gauge the potential of Eazybot, right? Nothing is guaranteed. Everyone's going to have a different example, but at least there's a potential. So, what I know is there's people on our team, there's people watching on the sidelines right now. And, I'm never going to come down on anyone who has the thought process and is concerned. They don't want to get into Eazybot or into the markets where they're potentially holding crypto for months at a time, right? I understand that thought process. But what I am going to point out to you here a little bit is, let's look at the history of Bitcoin, and let's look at what has happened and the potential. Because here's what I'm going to say, and I'm going to give you a little insider on one of the approaches I'm going to have when I'm out talking to people, as I'm marketing and bringing people and introducing to Eazybot. Here's going to be one of my potentially a common objection that you might get, and here's going to be my response. So the simple question is right now you can see Bitcoin is at just over 20,000, right? So the question is here is, do you think that Bitcoin is going to go below the value of $2,000? It's as simple as that, you guys, because if we see the current price and if we minus that by 90%, okay, so think about that. That's what every person needs to really understand, the power of the tool that we have here. Most people are going to say no, right? Most people would agree that for it to go from 20,000 down to 2,000 is very unlikely, right? And I tell you what, personally, if that happened, guys, I would be looking around my house. I would be looking for things to sell so I could pour every bit I could, because, we all understand the thought process. If I was to walk out and I was to go ask people on the street, would you agree that the best way to make money in the markets is to buy low and sell high, right? If I was to go out and ask 10, 20 people, I think most people, even if they had zero experience in the market, would say, well, yeah, it makes sense to buy low and sell high. But yet, unfortunately, most people do not do that. Most people are not buying low right now. Why is that? Right? It's a fear, it's a fear that of a loss, or a fear that it goes against human nature to buy low. As the market continue to drop down, your natural inclination is not to. So this is what's so incredible about Eazybot, is let's take the emotion out of it. Let's remove the emotion and allow Eazybot to be buying in and building your portfolio as it goes lower and lower and lower. But let's take a look at the history of Bitcoin. And I want to show you guys this. I think when you see this, you're going to understand the timing we're at, where we're at. I think you're going to be really, really impressed, because if no one has ever showed this to you before, understand the history of Bitcoin. And why am I showing you Bitcoin in particular? Well, all the other cryptocurrencies that Eazybot trades does basically follow the Bitcoin. When Bitcoin is making a huge move up or down, the rest of the market generally does the same thing. So if we come back all the way back to August 15th, August 26th of 2015, Bitcoin was at $206 per Bitcoin. Imagine that, guys. We know, we've seen it up to what, 68,000, right? So imagine being back then, being able to buy a few Bitcoin and hold them. But that's not the point of this discussion. So if we come to the next low here, and I'm going to try to zoom in a little bit so it's not too too hard to see. The next low here a year later, 367. The next low later that year was just under 500. The next low was just under, just a little bit under 1,000 here. Okay, a little over 900. What was the next low? If we come up here, the next low was just under 1,800. Okay, and then we went in. We had a nice bull run after that. What was the next low? Just 33,100. Okay, then if we come over here and we get right here, guys, was right after COVID was announced and shutdowns happened. The market took a huge dive down to just under 4,000. Imagine right there if anybody would have had the foresight to go ahead and pile in money right then, because with that and the stimulus from the government, we had a huge explosion, right? But notice, are you starting to see a pattern here though? For every year or a couple of years, the lows of that year are higher than the last year or the 2 years prior. That has been the history of Bitcoin. And so when you're seeing these lows build up, and then if we come to where we are right now, we have been bouncing off of this 18,000 since June of this year. Now, what was the last low? The last low was in September of 2020, was just under 10,000, or just at 10,000. So could the markets go down to 10,000 before we go into another bull run? Yes, absolutely. I'm not saying that it couldn't, but could it come down here to under 4,000 again? Potentially. But again, like I said before, that if that happens, guys, get excited. You are buying crypto at a discount. If it breaks below 10,000 and we have another opportunity to be buying Bitcoin or buying crypto at this low price, I will be piling in from every direction of money I can to be piling in and waiting for that next bull run, guys. And so that's what Eazybot does. But why did I take the time to show you this? What's the main point? The main point is this. With the new enhancement of Eazybot, Eazybot can now handle anything the market throws at us, because the lows I've shown you in the last few years are not 2,000, are they? They're 3,000, they're 4,000. So let me say that again. With the new enhancement, Eazybot can handle anything that the market throws at us and still turn a profit. That's incredible. That's incredible, you guys. So we are in such an awesome moment in time right now to be able to be building our portfolios as the market potentially may go down to that 10,000 or lower, but we have the ability to be turning a profit the whole time. So imagine as we're building our portfolios and the bull run starts, and it will, guys. Okay, so that leads me to my next train of thought here. Let's go over here. So what do we know? So what I've shown you is the history of Bitcoin, that every year or two, there's new lower lows. Okay, so understand that what that's showing is there's more and more belief in crypto, and there's more money coming into it, and it's building, and it's all pointing towards moving. And then if we top it off with this is huge, you guys. So Blackrock, love them or hate them, are the biggest biggest asset company, management company in the world. They're huge, you guys. And let's come down here. Let me show you right here. So this article is a couple of months old now. But last week, US-based crypto titan Coinbase announced that it teamed up with Blackrock, the biggest asset management manager in the world, to bring cryptocurrency trading to wealthy clients. So what does that mean? So what that means is we know institutional money, huge money, is being lined up to come into Bitcoin, specifically in cryptocurrency as a whole. So it's not a matter of if we will go into another bull run, right, where the markets will really explode again. It's a matter of when, right? And so they give some examples here of some hypotheticals. If BlackRock put in just 0.5% of their holdings into Bitcoin with the price it is right now, 20,000, Bitcoin would go up to 75,000 worth in value. So that's a little off here. It would be a value of 95,000. Imagine how quickly that could happen, you guys. Imagine if they put in just 0.5% of their portfolio. If they put in 1% from their clients' income, we would be looking at over 170,000 with just 1%. If they decided to go big, if the belief that institutional investors and the global adoption of cryptocurrency, if you believe that, like I do, they go in 5%, we could see Bitcoin with a value of over $770,000 in the next few years. So when I talk about timing, when I talk about where we're at with Eazybot, we couldn't be at a better place at a better time. We're lined up with a bot that is making us profit no matter, and is now sitting in a position where, again, there's no guarantees, but the way it is built, there's no way for it to lose at this point. It's incredible what we have a hold of. When you come over here, this article is just from today. Let me have that load up here real quick. Okay, so Bitcoin holders withdraw over 683 million in Bitcoin in just one day. Now, when I first saw this article, you guys, admittedly, I kind of thought, well, hold on. If crypto is being pulled off the exchanges in such a huge way, how's that a good thing? Well, this article explains, and I'm going to leave these articles in my description of this video. If you're watching the recording of this video, I'm going to have these articles so that you can take a look at the stuff, everything I'm showing you tonight. But what it's explaining is this is a sentiment that if people are moving their crypto off of the exchanges, it means that the sentiment is changing and people are now willing to hold their Bitcoin. The only time people move lots of money to in Bitcoin to an exchange is if they're getting ready to sell, right? So this is a good sign that things are shifting towards people being willing to hold Bitcoin again, which means we should, again, not a guarantee, guys, but this is a sign that we could be starting to see the turnaround in the market. So, that now, speaking of hedge funds and, like I had mentioned, BlackRock and asset managers, let's take a look at the top hedge funds. And I looked up this site of the top 20 hedge funds in the world right now. What I was curious about is how have they performed? And I chose 2021. And, if you were paying attention to the markets, that people and these hedge funds did very well in 2021. 2021 was a good year, especially in the traditional markets. But I wanted to give you some comparison, right, of what we're seeing. Okay, so we've got, these are the top performing hedge funds the 3-year performance on this one here is by far the highest. Okay, but we can see, excuse me, guys, we can see the average here is 20 or less for a yearly. Berkshire Hathaway, is a very famous hedge fund company with Warren Buffett, right? Very well respected investor and individual, is bringing an ROI of 15% a year. So guys, if we reflect back on what Eazybot, if you've been watching the history of Eazybot, and again, we only have a little over 5 months under our belt, right? So you have to keep that in mind. But if we look at what the average has been on the portfolio that's being followed and tracked, we're looking, as of right now, no guarantees. You have to understand, everybody's going to have a different result, but it's averaging about 4% a month right now. And 4% a month times 12 is potentially, we're on track, guys, to do 48% ROI this year. So, I mean, I get people that, oh, well, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 5% a month, that's not very much ROI. Guys, I literally facepalm when I hear people say that to me. I mean, it makes me cringe. So you're telling me a bot that is on track to triple the ROI of a well-respected, sorry about that, guys, some of these very well-respected hedge funds, that's not impressive to you, right? So I want to give some context here to understand we are looking and are on track to do over triple of what some of these hedge funds are doing in a year. It's incredible what we have a hold of, guys. That was with the old strategy too. Understand that we just implemented the new strategy yesterday that's trading more aggressively. It's going to have more trades thrown in than what we had before, and it's going to trade more aggressively on the bottom end to get us pulled out of these huge dives that we've seen in the market and get us back into freeing up our funds to move into the next trading session. It's absolutely incredible. So, when we talk about that 4%, let's just use that as an example here, right? Because this is what we've been seeing on the account that's being monitored by corporate, that we get to watch the updates. If you're taking time, if you're not logging on to or at least watching the highlights of the corporate calls where the owner Mohammed is doing a breakdown of how it's of its performance since inception, you need to, because you're really going to get a sense of how well this Eazybot has performed up to this point. But they just made it that much better, you guys. But I want to give a little bit of an idea potentially of what Eazybot, what we have a hold of, what this could potentially be for us, over a longer period of time here. So if my computer will work with me here. Okay, so we're gonna just go very conservative here, right, guys? We're gonna say someone started with $1,000. They're gonna, what have we been seeing? We've been seeing 4% monthly, right? So far off of the bot. So what will that do for you over a 5-year period, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and calculate that out. Let's see what that looks like. Okay, so we're not blowing anyone's socks off here, right? We're saying, okay, so we've been able to 10x our money over a 5-year period on autopilot. Guys, that's not bad. That's when you have total control of your money. You're not relying on another company to pay you back. They have no control over it. This is funds in your own crypto exchange. That's pretty good. But here's where it gets really powerful. So let me come back up here. Can you afford to add a little bit monthly? And I'm just throwing numbers out here, guys. You can toy around with this, but just humor me a little bit. Can you afford, what are you saving? What are you saving in your bank account? 200-300 a month, 500 a month, 1,000, we have all different types of income levels on the team and people watching this. So I'm just giving you examples. But here's where it gets really powerful. So now by adding that extra 300, so you have the daily compounding happening with the trading, but by adding an extra 300 a month over that same 5-year period, you've invested $18,000 and you have a total portfolio of 85,000 now, right? It becomes powerful. Now, what if you decide that you want to leave this alone? Your goal is to, potentially retire in the next 10 years. What does that look like? You haven't changed anything. You've hit over $1 million potentially on a 4%. So understand this 4% that people are shrugging off, people are kind of about. Look at what that does over a 10-year period, guys. And here's what I'll say. Let's do this. Most people on our team are not coming in with just 1,000. Most people are coming in higher than that, or they're adding bigger amounts over time. Excuse me. So I'm just going to give you our example of what we've done so far, right? And rerun those numbers. Okay, so we see quite a bit of a difference there, but what, again, do your own, sorry about that, guys, I'm freezing up a little bit. Do your own playing of numbers with this. This is just for illustration of what is possible with the power of compounding and what 4% compounded over an extended period of time could look like. But we have people coming in, 5,000, 10,000, people are coming in with a monthly amount much larger than this, right? So you do some playing around, but see, and then finally, what if you're the ultra patient, right? And you go ahead and give it the total 15 years. Now, I get it. For some people, the idea of 15 years, but guys, we're talking about something that is done purely through the product itself. We're not talking any affiliate commissions. I mean, to be honest with yourself, are you really not going to introduce somebody to something that's working as good as Eazybot over the next 5, 10, 15 years? Do you really not like your family and friends that much, right? So, I mean, it's going to be natural after you see something incredible. If you've been burned online with other programs, if you've been down that road, if you've struggled, to make money online, and you see something like this, and you see, what we've seen in the first 5 months has been incredible with Eazybot, but what we're going to see over the next few years with this new enhancement is just gonna blow everybody's socks off, really. And and let me end on this here. Understand that Eazybot was launched April 15th of this year. Okay, so April 15th is right here. Okay, so since day one, And we were not able to, in the United States, we're not able to get in until March. But since inception of Eazybot, we've had a market go down as much as 56, almost 57%. They launched at the worst time ever, and they've still performed at this level with the bot designed to only be able to handle a 50% drop in the market, guys. Their bot outperformed what they even expected, right? So we've seen coins go down 70% or more, and the bot still be able to handle it and still be trading. That's incredible, and they've just made it better. So that's what I want to share on just the excitement. Hopefully I've opened your eyes a little bit to the power of what we had, that slow and steady does win the race, especially when you're talking about a bot that hedge funds are paying over $1 million for a bot that is comparable to what you can start for free today. It's incredible. So don't take it for granted. Get involved with it. But what I want to do here real quickly, and if somebody can let me know if I'm going to play this video, it's a short 3.5-minute video, I'm pretty sure, on how to activate market crash recovery. And then what we're going to do is help anybody on the team that needs help in getting this started, and we'll cover everybody's bots.
So there's three things we're going to cover here. What is market crash recovery? When should I use market crash recovery? And then how do I set it up? So first, market crash recovery is designed to help you to continue trading in profit even when the market drops severely. 90% or more, market crash recovery will allow you to continue trading and closing in profit. Phenomenal. Now, the question is, when should you use it? Well, market crash recovery recognizes that there's still profit to be made, even if the market has dropped severely, 60, 70, 80%, there's still a market there. And so how do we extract profit out of that market? Well, when you enable market crash recovery, how much USDT do you want to give to market crash recovery? So let's talk about when you use market crash recovery. You want to use it when all 38 covers have been exhausted and all the funds that you've assigned for this particular bot have been used up. And we'll help by sending notifications to give you an alert that says, hey, you may want to consider enabling market crash recovery. Okay, so the question here is, well, how much should I assign to market crash recovery? Well, that decision is entirely up to you because there are no minimums. So you decide whatever you want to apply here to market crash recovery. The great thing is that it will take 90% of the profit and apply it to your original trade. And that's going to do a couple of things. It's going to help close that trade in profit faster than if you didn't have market crash recovery working for you. And then, of course, the other 10% is pure profit that goes right into your USDT balance. So you're seeing real profit in real time, and you're helping to close that initial trade with 90% of the profits made by finding where the market is and working in that market. You do not have to set up a budget for USDT for market crash recovery at the time that you're setting up the trade. Decide whatever you want to assign to this bot and use that budget. You can also assign a market crash recovery budget, but you absolutely do not have to. You can wait until the opportunity presents itself and then assign the appropriate budget, whatever you decide. Once you've done that, let's say we wanted to make it $100. You simply hit save, and now we've enabled market crash recovery. You can see that checkbox here. Once we do that, you'll notice that there is now an entirely different section of covers. I'm not going to get into the details on this here, but I wanted to answer those three questions. What is market crash recovery? Helps you stay in profit even in the most severe trading situations. How do I use it? How do I set it up? You simply check this box, decide what you want to assign in USDT, and hit save. And when should I use it? Well, you should use it when you've exhausted the 38 covers that are part of your initial trade. How will you know? because Eazybot's going to send you a notification. It says, heads up, you may want to consider enabling market crash recovery. We hope you enjoy this new feature.
All right, awesome guys. So there we go. So that's how to enable it. Now there is a couple of caveats to that, especially if you are someone that you're watching this recording, or if you're, if you're stuck in a trade, if your bot is one of those few that did actually run out of funds like it's talking about, then this is what you've been waiting for. And I'll show you how to do that. But Scott, are you available to share your screen and show the coin that you've been wanting to kind of get traded out?
Sure.
All right, let me change it here where you can share your screen, and we'll go in and take a look, and I'll show you what adjustments you need to make. And so this will be a little bit different, guys, compared to what he was showing you is on a new trading session. So I'll show you the difference when Scott shows his back office here. It'll look a little bit differently, but I'll show you how to get in there to make those adjustments to activate the market crash recovery. Coming in a little bit. Do you want to click on click to open there, Scott? And we'll kind of show everybody what it's looking like. Okay, yeah, so you actually are out of funds. So this is a great example, guys. So, since a few of us got into DOT, I mean, DOT has went down, and I didn't show that on the charts before we got in here, but it's went down considerably. I think it's one of the coins that went down almost 70% since we started trading it. So it's had a struggle, but the market crash recovery that we can activate here. So let's show how to get into that. So Scott, do you want to click on your settings up there on the right hand side? Now, Scott has basically spent, his bot has spent his amount that he's really allowed to, that he has allocated, because if you saw, he has only $9 left to trade, which is likely not enough to take another cover. But Scott, if you want to scroll down, and you'll see a section that is open to allow you to make adjustments to the numbers. So keep going. There we go, right there. You see those 50s that are not grayed out. So what this is doing, what the bot is saying here, is it's taking 50% to pull down that average price, to pull it down to where it can sell out the entire trade session, and 50% is going in, is just being set aside for profit. So what's being recommended for the market crash recovery is to only keep 10% as profit and allow 90% to go into pulling down that price. So it's really going to boost how quickly the bot is able to pull down the average price to get us out of that entire trade session. So we've been in some of these trade sessions for 3-4 months, you guys, but with this new strategy, we're going to be trading aggressively towards pulling down that price to be able to get the entire trade session closed and all profit back out and ready to go in, either to pull profit out or to move it back into another trading session going forward. So Scott, what we could do is, just as an example, what you want to do is clear out those 50s and put in 10. So you want to only have 10% saved. And then what I did is went through and did it on every single one of those. So I don't know, you're on a tablet, you might, if you don't want to go through that all right now, you don't have to. But that is the process, you guys. So now this will change. So once this trade session is closed out for Scott or for any of us, it's going to automatically switch over to the new strategy that they've implemented. But the reason they didn't implement that immediately is they didn't want to have any issues with a bot that had an open trading session going. And they didn't want to mess with the numbers or get any trades messed up. So they're allowing us to manually do this until we trade out of this trade session. And then as soon as the new session starts, it will automatically switch over to the new strategy, and we'll there'll be a lot less hands off, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We won't have to do this after the first session is closed. So this is a one-time deal. And then the video I showed you where David covered that, you can see it's going to be much easier once the new strategy is implemented on one of your bots that you're trading. You're just going in there. If you get stuck in a trade in the future, you're just going in there, you're telling it how much you want to allocate, and then going from there. So that's perfect, Scott. So yeah, go ahead and save it. And then one thing that Mohammed, the owner and creator, kind of walked us through is an option. Now, do you have a coin that that is constantly closing its trading sessions, Scott? That it's like it's not getting stuck. It's just okay. So this one's in a pretty long cover as well. I don't know if you have any that you can think of that are closing.
It would have been this. It would have been Solana, but maybe it's been a couple weeks.
Okay.
Oh, geez, yeah.
Okay, it's been in there for a bit now. Okay. Oh yeah, but it was closing out there quickly for a while, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. Well, so what Mohammed was suggesting, and something everybody can think about, is if you have a coin that is closing out of sessions very quickly, meaning it's the market's not going against it, it's just buying 1, 2, 3 times and it's selling, getting back out, you can take that profit once a session is closed, move it over to another coin to help that coin, put that in the market crash recovery to help get that coin out of the nightmare it's out of. It's down I have a coin AAVE that's down 76%, you guys, since the moment I started it. So we've really seen a huge market drop. So I may want to boost that coin to just get it out of that loss. So not loss, but just get it out that much of a downtrend. So he suggested that, and then he also suggested so thanks for sharing there, Scott. Do you have anything available that you would want to move over? If not, I'll show an example on my account.
Are you talking about funds to move over?
Yeah. Is there any of your bots that are none of them are closing a session, right? So you don't really have anything to move over at this moment?
I don't think so. I mean, I don't know enough about it to.
Oh, there you go. So there's one. So Matic just started a new trading session today. So that one could be an option. So what you could do is you could go into settings and turn off the cycle, so that the next time it closes a trading session, you've got $114 in profit there that you could move over to a coin that's struggling, put it in that market crash recovery, activate it. Then that will really help pull DOT out of its slump, basically.
So we'll just put this into single and then save it.
Yep. Yep. And then what you're going to want to do is log in every day to make sure once it's closed that trade session, okay, then you've got that 114 or 115, whatever it's going to be when the session is closed, that you can move over to the market crash recovery on your dot because it's stuck currently.
So when this particular session closes,
Mhm.
and I'll know that because
It'll be at the top. Yeah,
Where
yeah.
was
Session right there, sell session ended. See that? So
Yeah.
that is a closed session, and yep, you're done with that one. So
then once this particular session sells, is this entire coin or bot in profit, is what you're saying?
yeah,
There's no more profit to be made because all the sessions have closed.
yeah, exactly. So your USD available and profit, that's all you're actually trading with those two together right now, the available and the profit. So your portfolio, like if you click on settings, I'll show you where you can see that. So you're actually trading with the initial 678 that you'd put in plus the profit equals 792.53. So it's always auto compounding and adding those funds back into your trading sessions.
So then once this session closes, what will the USDT be available?
All of it will be available. Yeah, that entire
plus that or just that?
What was it? It was the 789 or whatever that total amount was, 792.53.
So once that session closes, that'll be what I have.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Plus whatever other profit it makes during that session.
Yep. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Exactly. So what you could do is just, if you wanted to, leave the original that you'd put in here and only move the profit over, you would just need to, minus the amount that you're planning on taking out of the USDT assigned is all you would need to do, and then save that and move that over, market crash recover. But I think what we'll do is on a separate video, if you're wanting to do that like tomorrow or the next day, just so we don't make this video too long for everybody, is we'll actually record another little video of how to move over funds to do a market crash recovery. So
okay, I'll let you know when it closes.
Awesome. All right, thank you, appreciate it. So Tron is the one for me that has been closing out rather quickly on its sessions as well, like what Scott had showed. So if I load that one up here, this one will likely be the one that I go ahead, and I've already got it set in single. So we have an initial buy that happened on the 28th of last month. Excuse me, it's been a while. And the reason for that is the old enhancement had a lot of room in between trades that it could buy and sell, especially at the beginning, the way the enhancement was designed. So if I hit my, let me go to the 4-hour trade session so I can really give you guys a breakdown. Okay, so this one, the current trading session was bought all the way up here and has been in a downtrend and is now up into a sell zone where it will close out this entire session. But the way Eazybot is created is it waits till it has a 0.5% drop before it will sell out. So it will sell out here likely tonight, close out that entire trade session, And then I will have a total of, if we come in here to our settings, I will have 803 available that I could, so I could basically move 200 is what I'm planning on moving 200 over to a coin that's struggling. I'm going to activate market crash recovery on another one of my coins here in another day or so. So in between myself and Scott, we'll be able to show you guys some examples of how to do that, how to set up the market crash recovery. And then what I'm going to do on my YouTube channel is just keep updated on how the market crash recovery is performing as far as real world. We're going to show where the numbers are at when we activate the market crash recovery. Then we're going to watch that over the next few weeks, trade aggressively, pulling down that average price to get out of trades that are stuck. Like, for example, DOT here, like what Scott just showed us, has been admittedly a aggressive coin that has went the wrong way for us for a long time. So like I'm showing you guys here, I mean, since my initial buy-in of April 22nd was when I got involved with this coin, it's down 60, almost 67%. And it's riding that line right now. So it's been a huge drop. And so, it's dropped so much, the average price has really not been able to follow. So with the market crash recovery, we're going to really work at pulling down that average price. And then when that market comes up to meet wherever that average price is, it's going to sell the entire trade session for a nice profit for us. So it's exciting, and we'll be able to show that. But for today, that is everything. Was there any other questions from anybody before we end this call today, or before I stop the recording? All right, guys. Well, thank you, everybody, for being here. I appreciate it. If you're watching the recording, please reach out to me if you have any questions on activating anything, or just understanding the new trade set, the new enhancements will really help you. And hopefully I've given you some motivation and some excitement to think about the incredible tool that we have with Eazybot, what it's going to do for us over the next few years. So, all right, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you.